It's state semifinal Florida high school football, and there is no tomorrow, unless you win, that is. Scores in action from across the state, upsets, close calls, and pure jubilation. It's a hotbed world. Next.
We going to state, baby!
Hello and welcome to the FootballHotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, driven by Honda. I'm Brandon O'Doy, and welcome to state semifinal championship football here in the great state of Florida. We are looking forward to next week. The road to Orlando is finally solidified. The state championship. Who will punch their ticket? That's what we're here to find out. We're at St. Thomas Aquinas hosting Venice in the 7A state semifinal. On the other side of this great state, Lakeland is taking on Edgewater, and those two teams, the winners, will meet in Orlando next week. But first, we've got to get through Game of the Week with two excellent coaches. John Peacock visits from Venice, and Coach Roger Harriet here at St. Thomas. But before we get on to the wonderful highlights of this Game of the Week, let's take a look at Central Florida. Ion Central Florida is up first. Let's go to the tape. Edgewater travels to Lakeland, Florida, where the Dreadnoughts were excited and ready to defend their undefeated record. Edgewater out of Orlando looking to knock off Lakeland. They would have their work cut out for them because the Dreadnoughts and that running machine was revved up and ready to go. DeMarcus Bowman, he continues on having an outstanding postseason. He scored twice to put Lakeland up early on into this game, and this Lakeland Dreadnought offense has been rolling on the ground. But Edgewater and R.J. Harvey, they've got a little run game of their own, 28 yards out. They get in for the score to keep the game close. This is before Mr. Bowman boom, 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 gets his third touchdown, and Tayshawn Nixon gets the pick six. In a 28-point third quarter for Lakeland, the Dreadnoughts move on to face St. Thomas in the 7A state finals. Let's go to Cocoa, hosting University School from Davie, Florida, and that's DJ Arroyo down 13-10. He hits Willie Gaines going up over a defender for the touchdown. University would have all the momentum coming out of halftime as they would score, recover a fumble on the kickoff, and then Nicholas Vadiato goes deep to Christian Wells in the end zone to put University School up 31-17. But down two scores, Cocoa answers with a touchdown from the quarterback, DJ Arroyo, on the QB keeper to bring it within one. Now down 5 after a safety. Watch Arroyo here, finding Jamari Williams to take the lead, and it would be the last score of the game as University would fumble, turning the ball over, and Cocoa would get out of there with a 1-point victory, advancing back to states for the second consecutive year.
What's going on, folks? Coach Jerry Seymour here with the Running Back Academy, reporting for the Football Hotbed and Florida High School Football Report. And on today's segment, we're talking about Jalen Knight, and junior running back out of Deerfield Beach High School. I couldn't wait to break this kid down. He stands at about 5'10", 180 pounds. He broke his school's single-game rushing record with 348 yards, which was set 27 years ago. He has over 2,000 yards this season, and on top of that, he has 28 touchdowns. Now, Jalen is a speed demon. You can't break down speed, but I do have one play that I'm going to break down. But if this kid gives one step on you, you can cancel Christmas. Now, this is the play that I want to break down right here. I call this the double left leg stick. And once I reverse it back, let's get into it. So what Jalen's going to do, he's going to step up to this DB, and he's going to sell him as if he's going to the left super hard, and then he's going to stick that left foot up in the ground and get upfield. So he's going to approach him with the left foot stick, and then he's going to get up again, and he sees another DB that's going to overflow. He's going to stick that left foot in the ground, let that DB run by, and he's going to cruise in for 6. Now, I told you, this kid is a game breaker. He's a 4-star running back out of Florida. He's committed to Oklahoma, which is the perfect fit for him because Oklahoma really hasn't had a game-breaking running back since Adrian Peterson, and that's what this kid can be. This is Coach Jerry Seymour with the Running Back Academy, reporting for the Football Hotbed and Florida High School Football Report. I'll see you guys next time.
It's still ahead on the footballhotbed.com. Florida High School Football Report driven by Honda. We've got Game of the Week right here. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas as they welcome the Venice Indians. And we'll get to turn on the tape. This is the young man that we want college coaches to take a closer look at. Plus, you don't want to miss the top plays, including the #1 player of the week, the jackpot player of the week. But first, it's Eye on Tampa Bay when we return on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report driven by Honda. Welcome back to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report driven by Honda. We're excited to be here at Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the home of the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. And this is a storied program. George Smith passed down the program reins to Roger Harriet. This is a program that has won state championships in abundance, but last year they did not win. So the point of emphasis is now, can Kirk Castile and these Raiders of St. Thomas get the job done? They'll have to get past Venice in order to do that tonight. We'll get to Game of the Week in just a moment, but let's take a look on the west side of this great state. Eye on Tampa Bay, brought to you by your local Honda dealer, is next. Let's go to the tape. Clearwater Central Catholic forces 6 turnovers but fails to stop Chaminade Madonna. Willie Davis puts the Lions up at halftime with a 33-yard run. Davis rushed for 220 yards on the night. Carter Davis, the kicker for Chaminade, scored 3 second-half field goals in the Lions' 16-0 win. Chaminade outscored Armo Farragut 21-3 in the third quarter to win their 2A semifinal game. The Blue Jackets would score with under a minute remaining in the game, but the Lions would secure the onside kick and run out the clock, advancing to the state championship. They win 24-20. John Gill scores a 16-yard quarterback keeper for Crestview against Armwood. The Hawks would respond. Cameron Ransom hitting wide open to Jai Hall for a 65-yard touchdown. The Bulldogs would get the lead once more after a fumble recovery, setting up one of 2 back-to-back touchdowns. But Ransom and Hall for Armwood would again come back with the big play. This time, the pair linked up for a 74-yard burner. Armwood beats Crestview 35-22, advancing to meet Miami Northwestern in the state championship. All right, let's now take a look at the highlights from state championship action from around the great state of Florida. Let's not waste any time. Let's go to the tape. Reigns hosting Denellen 4A state semifinal. Brandon Marshall 34 yards on the ground for the touchdown. Reigns up 20-0. Then Ja'Cory Rivers will go long to Matt Drayton, and it was all Reigns 48-0 in the shutout over Denellen. Baker taking on Port St. Joe. Josh Butts throws for 144 yards and 3 touchdowns for Port St. Joe, but they fall to Baker in this matchup. Check out the fumble recovery here from the Gators. It's Derek Peoples Jr. returning the fumble 40 yards to the house, and Junior McLaughlin scored 4 touchdowns, taking this one 26 yards for the Baker Gators 48-27 win. North Florida Christian and Victory Christian. North Florida's Christian Jonathan Rayleigh, he puts the Eagles up with an 11-yard touchdown run. And in the fourth, 3-yard Cornelius Shaw run will help get Victory Christian within a field goal of North Florida. But you got to be sound on special teams. This kickoff return here for North Florida Christian would set the table for their 23-20 win. And then an IONT in a critical possession sealed the deal for the Eagles. They would win and advance to the state championship. Kings Academy and Florida State University. Florida State's Javon Morgan receives the pass. 45 yards later, he puts FSU up 20-7 in the second quarter. The Seminoles, Willie Taggart Jr., if that name sounds familiar, it's the head coach of Florida State University. His son gets the strip 6 and takes it back, and Florida State is rolling. But the Lions' Javon Wynn would get his second touchdown of the game with the 60-yard catch and run, and Kings Academy would rally to win by 1, 49-48. Upset City, North Marion taking on previously undefeated Trinity Christian. Jerron Gilmore takes the backward pass from Corey Wilshire, sends it 33 yards for a touchdown. North Marion in a position to score. Marcus Crowley's going to get his. He had 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. But this one was North Marion. Corey Wilshire, big night, 29-25. North Marion wins over Trinity. And Mandarin, Riverview, Sarasota, Carson Beck doing his thing right there, passing to Demario Douglas, takes a swing past 48 yards. Beck again had a wonderful night, and his defense backed him up. That's Jerome Jolly getting an INT near midfield, and Beck throwing once again, hitting Chris Mitchell for the 91-yard score. He had 470 passing yards, 4 touchdowns in the win. Still ahead on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. Will Cardinal Gibbons and backup quarterback Brody Pelhege get to the state championship, first ever in their school's history? We'll find that out, plus Game of the Week, top plays, and turn on tape when we return to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, driven by Hotbed. Welcome back to footballhotbed.com. Here in South Florida, we're at St. Thomas Aquinas and the Raiders Stadium, but we want to take a look at Ione, South Florida now. This is an area that has a state semifinal participant in every classification except 1A. Who will punch their ticket to Orlando in the state championship next week? We got to find out by going to Ione, South Florida, brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers. It's next. All right, Northwestern visiting Naples. Isaiah Velez for Miami Northwestern hit Sean DeLauder for a 19-yard touchdown in Northwestern's 40-7 win over Naples. Tyrus Clinch, he would also add one for the defense, returning a recovered fumble for the score. The Bulls defense would score another touchdown when Carmen Kitchens returns the pick, 90 yards. Northwestern big winners over Naples, 40-7. Go to Cardinal Gibbons in Fort Lauderdale, where they hosted Tampa Jesuit. Brody Pelhege throws for 2 touchdowns. First, Pelhege finds Troy Stellato for 72 yards, and then in the third, he throws another 50-yard touchdown. Gibbons would roll over Jesuit 14-3. And then Columbus visiting Deerfield Beach. Kalani Norris takes the Brandon McDuffie pass to the house in Columbus's win over Deerfield. Elias Morales would get the INT, and he would take it in for the Explorers. 2 interceptions for touchdowns in this game for Columbus, and it was an absolute romp. Deron King, he would connect with Dejon McDougal for Deerfield, and they would try to make a game of it, but Kalani Norris would also get a touchdown on defense, joining his fellow DB Morales with a pick 6. And it was a pick-6 parade. Henry Parrish Jr., the talented running back, closed the game out for Columbus. He takes the handoff 49 yards for his 3rd touchdown of the game. Parrish rushes for 162 in the 49-21 win. Take a closer look now at the Christopher Columbus High School football program. This is a program with lots of pedigree, have state championship caliber, but they suffered a great loss during this offseason. We sent our senior writer, Marcus Benjamin, in focus to find out how this team is coping with losing one of their closest friends.
The Columbus Explorers in Miami have turned pain of the loss of teammate Ari Arteaga, who died in a car crash last summer, into playing in a way that honors and inspires.
So Ari was that teammate that everybody rallied around. He didn't have to be a star his freshman year. He didn't have to be the star the sophomore year, but he was that teammate he was that little bit of glue. The ones that you could see him off to the sidelines, but everybody was huddled around him. He had that spark about him that people gravitated towards.
Columbus has found ways to honor their friend and teammate, where his legacy continues to live on through the team.
And I actually met with Ari's father, and we discussed a few ideas that we had to recognize what he meant to us as a school and as a program. Then each one of his friends has taken the opportunity in the games that we've had so far, and everybody different has worn the number each week.
He was close to a lot of these guys, and this gives everybody an opportunity to wear his number. I think it's a great idea and a great honor to our family for the Columbus to do that.
But we want people 20 years from now to ask, hey, why is 30 a special number? It keeps Ari's memory alive. Losing Ari, it was a wake-up call for a lot of our kids, and I'm proud of them. They came together. They dedicated the season to Ari. They've represented the football program very well, and they've represented Ari's memory very well at the same time.
The passing of Ari definitely brought this team closer together and gives us a purpose on why we want to win and who we want to play for. We're honoring him this season through the whole run, the whole playoff run, and it's just making us get closer, and we know that his light is shining on our path to the state championship.
Still ahead on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. Game of the week, St. Thomas Aquinas host Venice in a key and critical state semifinal 7A matchup. Can St. Thomas get revenge they so desperately seek? We'll find that out and more, along with top plays and turn on the tape when we return. Welcome back to footballhotbed.com. It's finally here, game of the week. St. Thomas Aquinas taking on Venice. This is a wonderful battle in 7A. The winner goes on to next week and Orlando, Florida. Coach John Peacock told me of Venice that this is a team that is focused. They know in order to get to Orlando, they've got to knock off these St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. Roger Harriet, he's the head coach here at St. Thomas in Fort Lauderdale, and he knows his team is now focused for what happened last year. They led going into halftime, and then they allowed Venice to come back. Who will win today? The team that turns the ball over the least and stays the most focused. Here are the highlights. Game of the week brought to you by Honda is next. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas, the Raiders hosting Venice from the west coast of Florida. Venice coming into the game with only one loss. St. Thomas as well, looking for some get back in last year's state semifinal. Venice came out on top, but St. Thomas gets up early here. Senior running back Daniel Carter committed to Pitt shortly after the game, and he's committed to the end zone here. 7-0 St. Thomas Aquinas goes up in this contest early on in the first quarter, and then Kirk Castile hits the junior wide receiver having a breakout season. DeAndreas Freeman, we call him Hunted, worth $100 bills there. 14-0 St. Thomas Aquinas is up early. Then the stifling defense, Anthony Solomon gets in from the linebacker position. His defensive coach, Jason Taylor, loves that. Zach Sessa and Venice settle for a field goal. Sessa gets them on the board 14-3. He's one of the best kickers in the country. And then the Venice Indians start to perk up a bit. The defense would get the INT, but Sessa's field goal is blocked by St. Thomas Aquinas. And then on the next possession, Kirk Castile, the senior, headed to Harvard. He slides down inside the red zone for the Raiders, and Daniel Carter, his second touchdown of the half. We talked to the coaches at halftime.
You know, we're gonna try to play our game. Obviously, you know, we're going against a very good football team with some very talented players. You know, hopefully we can come out and our defense can keep us in the game early, and hopefully we can make it to the fourth quarter and get a chance.
Just keep playing hard. You know, we have plenty of time left in this game. We're a second half team, so I feel like our guys are gonna continue to give their best effort and play Aquinas type football.
Back out to the second half. Venice got to get something going. Hayden Wolf passing to his younger brother, Weston. Weston with a nice reception there, getting Venice close enough for a Zach Sessa field goal. The score is now 21-6. Venice still trailing big. And then Jaden Henry, the junior running back for St. Thomas Aquinas, tacks on for the Raiders. He gets in to extend their lead 28-6 in the third quarter. Then a Logan Lupo field goal extends that lead. The senior place kicker is up and good. 31-6 now. St. Thomas leads, and they tack on here. Castile to Daniel Carter once again, showing his athleticism and range, gets in for his third score of the day, and touchdown St. Thomas Aquinas. 38-6 at this point in the fourth quarter. Venice in all kinds of trouble, but then they begin to turn it on. Nico Della Costa gets one of his 2 late touchdowns, bringing the score to 38-12. The onside kick from the Venice Indians is good. We told you Sessa is an absolute stud of a kicker, and then Della Costa with a nice run here, taking the ball all the way down. He gets inside the 10-yard line, and that would lead to a Brandon Gregory touchdown run. Gregory was largely held in check, only had 35 yards at the half. He's typically around 150 on the night, still a 20-point game. Wolf goes over the top and hits his receiver, but fumble on the play, picked up by St. Thomas Aquinas, and the Raiders would go on to ice this. They get revenge, they get the victory over Venice, and they're heading back because of a tremendous defensive effort back to the state championship, and they will meet the Lakeland Dreadnoughts.
Thought our kids played exceptionally well. The objective this week was to just develop into manhood, do better than our best, or give your best effort in the very next rep, do better than that. And I thought our guys stepped up to the plate, and it was a great team win. Our coaches were phenomenal this week with regards to motivation and keeping our emotions intact, and our players did a great job of representing God and the school and giving a great effort.
You seem to have an extra bounce in your step tonight. Did it mean something extra special to you?
Yeah, it means a lot for me. Last year, I walk off that field with a torn ligament in my ankle. It was just real personal for me and my team to get this W today.
And your last game here at St. Thomas, what does it mean to you to come out as a victor?
Do the journey at St. Thomas is a blessing. And I was blessed to be taught by great coaches and great captains, and it's just a blessing to leave my mark on this field, and hopefully that next week we can get another state championship.
All right, congratulations, man. Good luck in state.
Thank you.
So as we can see, it was 38-18. The team came out and did their thing today. We get an homage to God, and our coaches put us in the right position to make plays. We've been working all week. We've been working hard. 4 a.m. workouts since January on this field, barefoot. So, this feels good, especially for these seniors out here. We have a lot of seniors on this team. There's a reason why this kid right here wear 11. It's so we could get 11 state championships. So we got to get an homage to God and our coaches, and let's go to Orlando.
Boys, we going to the ship. 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 We going to the ship.
Got it. Finito.
Every week, we take a special look at a young man we think should get more attention in the recruiting world. We want the college coaches to turn on the tape this week for a very special athlete. Let's go to the tape. College coaches, listen up. It's time to turn on the tape for 6'2", 180-pound wide receiver Romello Brinson of Miami Northwestern High School. The rangy sophomore wideout absolutely torched nationally ranked Miami Central 2 weeks ago during the regional final. How did he do it? His technical route running skill, sure hands, and his big play making ability, they were the ingredients. It's early in his process, but this is a budding talent. He's already got offers from some big names, and getting in now might not be such a bad idea.
I said put the bag on me. They did it, baby. Let's go.
All right, now it's time for the moment we wait for every single week. It's state semifinal action, week 15 in the great state of Florida. It's top play time. And this is the play that you voted for, of course, as the #1 play of the week. And if you didn't get a chance to vote, hit us up on social media. Follow us at Football Hotbed on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Without further ado, top plays, week 15, state semifinal action in the great state of Florida. Let's turn on the tape. Top plays, week 15, state semifinal version. That's Daniel Carter, St. Thomas Aquinas, rattling off a big touchdown run. I now pronounce you very fast, running right into the state championship. Number 4, Miami Northwestern, the Naples punter. It went straight through his legs, and Tyrus Clinch gets in for the touchdown. Northwestern would roll over Naples big. They'll be in Orlando next week. Number 3, North Florida Christian. The kickoff return here, running through all the traffic, and then just a foot race. He gets to the end zone. North Florida Christian, 23-20 winners over Victory Christian. They head to the state championship. Number 2, North Marion. Now watch the wide receiver avoid the tackle and have the presence of mind to hit Brendan Shipp for the touchdown. They upset Trinity Christian. They'll be in Orlando next week. And number 1, jackpot player of the week. The name might sound familiar for Florida State University High School. It's Willie Taggart Jr., the coach's son. Watch him get in after the strip, and he takes it in for 6. And did you know that the Florida Lottery runs bright futures to help students like Willie Shaw? That's all the time we have for the Week 15 edition of the state semifinal show here on the Florida High School Football Report. We look forward to next week and all the exciting action as we finally get to Orlando and the state championship. We enjoyed a wonderful season, but this is what it's all about. Getting to the ship. St. Thomas did that in Game of the Week tonight. So did so many other teams, especially the teams from the South Florida area. All but 2 classifications will be represented from Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. And there will be many teams from other parts of the state looking to make noise and looking to make a name. Congratulations to everyone who gets to the state championship, because you're already a winner. But we're going to find out who the number 1 team is in every classification next week. And until then, it's a hotbed world. We're just living in it. I'm Brandon O'Doy. For all of us at the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, we'll see you in Orlando. Have a wonderful weekend.